feel like you're back, but you're not on screen. I am on screen. Here we are. Okay. I guess we'll see. Right. I'm going to move the other screen because that's where the webcam is. Okay. I'm sorry that I seem a bit tired. I was also just dealing with a frustrating device. Now I'm on a better one. Yeah. And I think that it finally, aside from the fact that it was just connecting, then it wouldn't let me continue it. I almost didn't think it was going to let me out either, but then it did, and I thought, okay, I guess it's meant to be. And then I thought, no, but maybe it's just meant to be on this stupid device. And so here I am on this little less stupid device. I only have a little bit of time, but of course there's my other content. Most of them are done on this device, so it's usually pretty consistently good. And then there's so I hope this coming back is going to be worth it, because I mean I could have easily been doing other things, but I can still do those before bed. And I'm a people pleaser, so but I want to be pleased too. It's a human need. And no, you might really get this because I have no filter. I maybe heard it that way once I said it too, but I didn't mean it. Or did I? Anywho, but no, seriously. In all seriousness. So the person that just tuned in, I'm not sure if it's someone who was on the previous one I was trying to do. Here's where I want to permission answer, but I am curious, where I'm reaching in the world. I'm in Canada. But yes, I wanted to come back because I knew that there was, and must not have been you, either you didn't remember the part where I said at the end of that video I was going to try switching devices, and maybe I didn't make it sound like that was necessarily going to be any better, but I thought I did. But like when I was having the issues with the other device, and sometimes I'd be away for like 10 minutes. And it's kind of tricky. I don't know how to use them very well yet. And then also I can't pause it. But yeah, so I'd come back and it would say there was at least one, a couple times 2 or 3 people there, which I mean, for not having been rolling that long, that was pretty nice. What do I want to do? How do I want to do this? I'm going to sit quietly until somebody tunes in and see if I feel that was one thing that also made me kind of want to come back and do this, was that I felt like I kind of left it looming and I kind of left it unfinished, the previous video. And I don't know what finishing it necessarily looks like, but the previous video that the device was being wonky. Now I'm on a different one, but I guess it'll look like this. So, and the person left. I want to put goodness out in the world. I don't understand why somebody would otherwise, or would want to do otherwise. I understand life can be hard and tough and feel frustrating at times, and sometimes you just, you have that pent up, but and sometimes you can feel like you've tried to be a good person in life and you still, don't have the life or experiences that which is kind of what life is, a bunch of experiences, right, that you necessarily want. or feel you deserve. And you could be right. I mean, I heard a phrase earlier today that said, we're all, I mean, it's interesting how this is coming up, but we're all born good people, or we're all born, similarly good. And then, life starts happening to us essentially, right? And whether it's upbringing, and I mean, it's okay to compare, but I mean, you got to realize, even if people have it worse, what you've been through is important too. Um, um, yeah, and just yeah. Um, because I was gonna say, just keep being a good person. You can't lose, but or you can't go wrong. But it seems to sometimes depend, right? But that's what I'm about, is being a good person and trying to, be there and help others. I don't feel like I'm often doing it to the capacity that I would like. But that's one reason why I keep posting here, because every now and then it does feel that way. And while I'm working towards, um, other stuff, man, I put a lot in just under 7 minutes. Um, but if I think about what I was talking about in the previous video, that, like I say, had a couple people staying around. I mean, if you're staying around, I've got to hope that you're enjoying and appreciating what's being said, and that it's resonating. And yeah, I mean, don't be shy. Love and kindness. Don't be shy. That's what I'm about. Uh, um, but yeah, and we should be. We all know that life can be hard. So I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't mean to belabor the point, but I think that we all should be trying to make it as pleasant for each other as we can, as we can. Because we want that for ourselves, right? So, and we also have to utilize our potential and our abilities. And in the previous video, I was talking about something that I sometimes talk about. And there's been someone here for about a couple minutes, and I do feel like that is what I'm meant to focus on for this next 10, 15 minutes that I have to do for doing this. Um, Whether that'll mean that I go to an event on Saturday that I want to go to or not, because I will feel okay. I've recently been, done this positive thing for this person, and but that's the thing, when we get reminded that how our how we are our purpose and how it is appreciated, we want to be able to keep doing that. And sometimes that's a challenge, you know, and so I'm more so leaning not towards going to this event on Saturday. But I wish that there could be, two of me, and one could go there, and if it doesn't go well, the person I live with, my roomie, and others, and my other self could kind of, like, say, yeah, but and give myself a pep talk, right? But so I appreciate you both being here, and whether you were on the other one that was being wonky or not, I appreciate it, and I want to show that, and I hope that you will show your appreciation, in the ways that you can here on YouTube. Um, I'm gonna go with what came up in that other video that was being wonky, but you both left. You both left. You were here for like 2 or 3 minutes. So it's like, okay, I thought this was resonating, but whatever. Again, that's wonky because sometimes it says there's nobody watching, sometimes there is. Apparently, lately, and it's a little weird when two go at the same time. like literally. Um, it may be coincidental that something came up for them, around them, or whatever, or um, yeah, I don't know. It's a little odd, but anyway. And I know this particular thing may seem a little odd at first. I'm just still playing for about another 10 minutes. Ah, humbug. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'll leave. I'll leave the. The one time I'm kind of want to stay up a bit longer, and we do have both of you here. I don't know. I mean, I don't want him to be distracting me. I can tell you that much. And I mean, but I didn't know which of my I've done a couple of really good videos lately. Not to toot my own bugle, but I think that they've, and there's great potential and great stuff in them. Although they were a bit long. And someone says, "But that's what you're doing is you're boasting." Yeah, but maybe I'm just really happy with what I've done, and and hope that you might be as well. But they are one is deep. There's a couple things, maybe the other one I don't know if I'd want to show them, but mostly I'd be happy to. But then I also kind of get sick of myself after a while too. Even if I am doing good stuff, and I live with myself. And I think we all get a little bit sick of ourselves sometimes. um, and if not, what's your secret? I mean, obviously you have a life that you love in all the ways and all the capacities. Yeah. But truth be told, I am kind of tired. So, but it's now the kind of part of the routine where me and the other person, like to enjoy each other's company a bit before bed. So, this deal. So I don't know what to say. I mean, other than some people are very blessed, some struggle to be in some ways. That's all. And um, sometimes you don't have to convince him. I wish he had more time in the morning to play more piano, but I guess yes. Anywho, but I'm just as worthy as that woman. Okay, and talented, and so and somebody just tuned in and I just came downstairs. Please, I don't know what to say. It's just a few minutes after 11. Sorry, I'm just talking to the other person in the house for a moment. I've come downstairs though, so you might hear a bit of piano in the background. I'm not really sure. And I would like to set this down somewhere in this. Okay, yeah, this will work for now. And I know, and yeah, this is chaotic. Yeah, but isn't life sometimes? I mean, seriously, you know. This would be most beneficial though if I felt like it was reaching who it was meant to reach, and I had that validation. Because I mean, if she ever sees our channel, I mean, I want her to know, as a stranger, I'm happy for her. That she's finding success, that she was willing to try and accommodate us a little bit, and that she's doing what she's doing. It's good stuff, in my opinion. But it's funny. The other day there was a bit of piano background music in the one that we kind of did, kind of as the last one for the day. And I did do it out there, but I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like standing. There's also a part of me that feels like getting that sandwich for tomorrow. I don't really. Sheila's going to tune in and say, "Are you cooking? What you cooking?" Simple sandwich. But I'm slow in the mornings, and unfortunately, I do that thing that so many of us do. I intend to let myself try and then when it's like 10 or 15 minutes before I don't have to get up, but our routine is appreciated, so I do. It's like once it gets to that point, it's like I'm not gonna, I could do it in 30 or 40 minutes, but I'm not gonna fall back asleep, and so And I always tell myself I've got lots of time during the day to look at the device, like, but then it's kind of like, well, but I'm thinking about this. My mind's kind of awake and my body's kind of not sure if it can feel like it wants to go back to sleep. And then I'm up for very long days. And I come here, on the boring ones to have a sense of purpose and something to do. And hopefully have an enjoyable experience with those who see it. Mutual. But I know that I have been like, I don't need to go to a group. I don't need to go and have somebody channel for me because I can do it. Are there elements of it that are nice and special that I benefit from? Yes, and that's the thing, right? So, I guess we'll see by Saturday if I'm at this thing that I've been alluding to. But if I'm not, then I do feel like this is where it's meant to be, because I don't see it being anything else really. That this is where I'm meant to bring my similar talent and ability, and there was some briefly here, and hopefully not be disappointed by doing so. Hopefully it'll be appreciated and it'll resonate, and you'll show that in all the ways that you can on YouTube, with the likes and the subscribes and the comments and possibly a donation. We got 3 of you here, so I'm gonna roll with this for about 5 or 10, and they all left. People, I don't want to plant any seeds or whatever, but let's all go in for 2 minutes. And if you happen to come back because you're curious, did anybody else do that or whatever? Hopefully they wonder. I mean, if you were a content creator, would you like that? Or if it was in person, I mean, because seriously, there's a lot of power in, for the most part, treat others as you want to be treated, or, take the medicine that you want to have yourself. That's an interesting way to put it, right? So, and the person may have came in just now and may not have been any of those people, and they're like, people take things personally sometimes. They might be like, what have I done to have that said at me? I mean, I do that. Like, you're a number, dude. Such and such. Again, I'm trying to read people's minds. Psychologists very much about that. Maybe psychiatrists don't like it as much, or whatever. I mean, you may not be right. This is the thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I don't know if it's worthwhile, but I mean, I find myself doing it. I mean, maybe because I'm interested about psychology and human behavior, mostly. But the point of the matter is just really quickly, I was planning you might not pick up on this, which is good because it might trigger him, but his own situation. Well, we'd know how we'd handle them for that event. I mean, I should know after 7 years living here, but yeah, and I know that he can be sensitive, and so can I, though. So, it doesn't seem like it's going to be necessary. It might be warm, but not super hot and sunny. No, it's not free-spirited enough. And it's weird because this kind of thing is kind of free-spirited. I understand that she wants to focus. Maybe she doesn't have ADHD. I mean, it's common with people that are neurodivergent, but if she, and it would throw off her focus. And I do kind of get it. But, I mean, at the same time, it's not that I don't have self-control. But it's kind of like, if I feel like, or I'm going to be sitting with it for who knows how long, and that's going to be what I'm mainly focusing on. I'm not going to be able to necessarily as well enjoy the rest of it, and it's just going to be more annoying than not. So but I mean, that's what the way she wants to do it, that's fine. I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. But it keeps, partly because I started to in the other video when the device went wonky, and I don't think I'm ever going to try and podcast that on again. I did it because I was feeling the moment, and because sometimes it does work. But yeah, so it could be because it kind of came out then, and I think it's also because there's really an entity here that wants to quickly say a few things, and I'm going to ask them to please quickly do so because I can't go super long with this one. And nobody's currently here. Maybe they'll see it after the fact. I'm not really hungry. Even though I didn't eat a lot, something I don't often have. It was filling. And the female individual in spirit that I am sensing actually says, don't be greedy. I get abundance. I understand when even if you could be richer, you're doing all right, and you're like, I have it, I have the habit, might as well eat it. If you don't want to, don't, because save it for later, and yeah, I don't know. She's kind of saying some sense of like, I sense that she was saying that she's been homeless before. So she knows what it's truly like to need food. And she's like, I'm here at your place right now. I'm not going to say you don't have your different struggles, dude, but she says, you ain't homeless. And a message for the loved one, and they don't really keep their names on the other side. We keep because that's how we knew them. They're just an angelic being. And what I sent is that the message for the loved one is, aside from this lovely piano music, which is more so for the one playing piano, is, and he's going on like, oh, I'm glad I was doing what I was doing. Again, it doesn't feel like it's, but somebody just tuned in, so maybe it will land. Talking about the soul of someone who has struggled with homelessness, has passed away. I don't know, passed away as a result of homelessness. And the person's like, what? You're obviously not familiar with the content then of this video, or that wasn't for you. I hope this reaches the person it was meant to reach. I truly do. Okay, kind of get to the point as to what you want to say to your loved one, Spirit, because you don't got a lot of time at this point in time. She's like, no pressure, hey? I get that she's kind of like, not sarcastic maybe, and kind of like a, well, okay then kind of personality. And I know he's looking at me like, oh, have your snacks, go about it, I don't care. Anyway, yeah, but we did have a filling and late dinner, as we always do. Anywho, and I don't disagree with what you said about that. But at the same time, you got to be using stuff because it will eventually expire. It's not. Anywho, so, and I'm not, I usually do. I have a bit more privacy usually to do these things, and I kind of feel like, and up is here, and it's expectation. We both want to do well. I don't know, this, that, and the other. He's going to be like, wow, that was really real. That was really powerful. Why isn't he getting any more? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, this event could be kind of a networking type of thing. But it's just, she's very organized, what she wants to do. And if it veers from that, she's going to get frustrated. And she's going to say, never mind, pay me the full price or whatever. Sorry, you tuned in just at that moment. I was just having a bit of a moment because there's something that's really on my mind. But so, the message, and hi, sorry. About something you don't, like, it should be obvious considering what we've been talking about. Anyway, I need to call it a day. And she's kind of like, yeah, they aren't here anyway. I mean, sure, we can both realize that they might be later, but so maybe later. Is what I I'm kind of feeling. I don't think that I can, either of us here, or possibly anybody who might see this video, could handle the deepness that this might want to share. Hopefully, she'll let us sleep. And it's a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is, I suppose. Interestingly, though, and I'm not going to say that I feel like it was ones that have been kind of like I didn't looking along the top but not really saying something before. I don't feel like this is indicating her, but I do feel like this person is saying that she has observed some of my content before, and she does feel like I should say, and I mean, I know this could, oh no, you're saying that, dude, because you want us to feel that. I do, wouldn't any content creator? And I kind of think it makes sense to. But no, seriously, she's saying, check it out, there's good stuff. And as far as like the spiritual based stuff, some of that stuff that is said is, if not exactly, probably pretty similar to what she would want to say. And it would be hopefully a less, a more focused video than this. I've got to wrap this up. You could not tell that I was